morning. It appears to be about 10:57, so I shall begin just doing a little preparation. Today I'm going to begin with gratitude because I am grateful to be here, grateful for each of you who is choosing to be here. Grateful for the opportunity to visit with each of you, and grateful for all of the blessings that have come in the past day, week, in my life. So I'm just going to begin myself with gratitude, and you can, whatever essential oil or single oil or blend that you have selected to use today, please apply it wherever you would choose to do. Breathe it in and just close your eyes and listen a little bit. I had originally selected yesterday 3 Tibetan bowls to play at the beginning of this session. And when I came up this morning, I thought, this is all about harmony. We're talking about deep emotions and feelings today, and how we're choosing to bring harmony into our lives. So I changed and got the crystal bowl, the rainbow crystal bowl, that truly feels like the frequencies of harmony to me. So apply your oil and just breathe it in and breathe in these frequencies. Wow. Happy Sunday, and again, congratulations for choosing to be here. When I announce the topic, you have a choice. Every single moment we have a choice of how we respond, how we react, and they are different. We'll talk about that, and what we choose to do with that particular moment. So thank you for being here and choosing to be here. So while we talk about emotions and feelings, this may expand over a number of weeks because this is not a quick topic. This is an ongoing thing, and it's much more gentle if we do a little bit at a time, if we build upon what we already have, rather than attempting to rip open old wounds all at one time, like ripping off a plaster or a Band-Aid. So last week we talked about the 6 blends of the feelings collection, the current feelings collection that Gary Young put together, and the fact that there was originally a collection of 12 blends that he originally, back in the 90s, put together. And we'll talk about the ones that were left out. the oils that are in our current, the blends that are in our current collection, starts with Valor. And Gary said, I was reminded this week by a post that someone else made, that Gary always said, Valor is the first oil, the first blend that should go on your body, because Valor will enable you to have that courage to move forward, that strength. So Valor blend, if you have it nearby, apply it. I have applied it a number of times today. And certainly where emotions are involved, it's important for us to have that strength, that courage to really look at them. Would you agree? So the other blends in our current collection, and if you don't already have it, you may choose to bring this into your life. The forgiveness, the release, inner child, harmony, and present time. So with Valor, that's the 6 that are there. Now, I'm going to talk about something that Stephen brought up to me this week too, that it's so funny when we bring things that we have learned at different times into this and see how they all fit together so perfectly. And he was telling me how that he was, as many of you know, he was a paramedic, a Navy corpsman, and an emergency technician. So he faced a lot of really traumatic things. And he said that always he was taught in all of these different things, in his trainings, to take a deep breath. When you're faced with something, it's going to be something traumatic. It's going to be fearful. It's going to really hit you at the fear-based level. To take a deep breath, that breath of life. And it's no surprise that it was a surprise in a way for me to think about, because for me, the water element is all about release. It's about flow and release and emotions. That's why I'm dressed in the water colors today, because this assists me, these frequencies of my clothing assist me in focusing on that flow and that release. So, and it's interesting to me that these 2 glyphs that make up the water element of the rainbow healing. This one is number 4, that nurturing of self and finding that perfect balance. It is so important for us to nurture ourselves as we delve into these feelings. And the acceptance, which is the 6th glyph. So in between the 2 of them, you have the breath of life. That is the frequency of decision-making time, that you're deciding. Each one of us are deciding to really look closer, to make some changes, to jump. I refer to it as jumping into the fires of transformation. And then on the other side, on the 6th glyph, in our journey of the glyphs, on the other side of that change, of that transformation, is the acceptance. Embracing who you are, embracing what you find as you do jump into those fires of transformation. So, with those thoughts in mind, we're going to talk today about some of the blends that Gary left out when he whittled down the feelings collection from 12 blends to only 6. And I'm going to start with something that this box that I found in all my belongings that I've held on to all of these years, the one that has the cassette tape in it, which shows that it's not a new box. But I'm a great one for holding on to boxes. Do any of you love to hold on to containers? Even when the things from the containers, the oil blends, have long since not been in there, although I do have every one of them. But something that he wrote at the very top, Gary understood. He was so connected and truly understood so much. He said, negative experiences and ideas are recorded in our brains and locked into our memories throughout our lives. And he comes on and says, in order to become who we were intended to be, we must erase these negatives and reprogram our thoughts to make positive ideas our reality. Those words are right here on the back of this box from the 90s. So how does this all fit together? Now, I have to tell you, I have used emotions and feelings kind of interchangeably. And in my reviewing and researching for this particular series right now, I found out that emotions are hardwired into our brain. They actually are a chemical reaction. Emotions are there. They are there and it's something that we need to understand, that we can choose to understand. Our feelings are our reactions to our emotions. And I specifically am using the word reaction rather than the word responses, because a response is less of a it is not an emotional type of thing. A response is a thought out thing, and a reaction is something we immediately jump to. And when we are triggered by a memory that may have happened way back in our childhood, your childhood is not as far back as mine, for sure. However, those memories, those hardwired emotions will trigger something in us. And usually it's a quick reaction because of something that is really just embedded in our memories. So that's what we are dealing with. And letting these memories come out, understanding that they do not have to, the same situation never has to happen to us again, that we can let go of that trauma that is attached to those memories, so that when we do experience an emotion again, such as an emotion of fear, there are all sorts of fears. And sometimes the fears give us lots of energy. Other times they cause us to go back into our shells, to put a wire, a shield around ourselves so that we don't have to deal with it because it's traumatic. Someone else could face that same fear, and because there's no memory stored, they don't have that. So we'll go more into that. Probably, it looks like this might be an ongoing thing. But I'm going to today talk about the blends that Gary did not include in this revised, this the smaller version of the feelings collection. And I also want to remind you that one of the things that Gary always told us was, if you don't have what I suggest, use what you have. I'm going to say that again. If you don't have what I suggest, use what you have. And I'm going to add to that by saying you may choose to add these additional oils, these additional blends to your collection as you go along, using the feelings collection of today as a basis, or your own series, a series of applications, whether it is single oils or blends, can be far more effective than just attempting to find the perfect blend, because you are an individual and every single moment you are different. So the way that your body, the way your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual body responds at any time is going to be different, even though it may be the same sequence of oils. The beauty of applying of layering multiple oils or blends is that the body has that opportunity to select exactly which frequencies, which molecules it requires at that particular moment to bring itself to better balance. And that's what it's all about. Being in balance. When our bodies are in balance, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual balance, then we are healthy. We are strong. We are grounded. So, speaking of grounded, the first two blends that Gary put in there, he put 3 wise men. Now, you will notice that this is an old label because Francis does not love 3 wise men. It contains juniper. And juniper has been my least favorite aroma since the day I first smelled it. So that's because what? I need it. So yes, I'm going to apply 3 wise men right now. And now Gary gives suggestions because all of these blends in the feelings collection contain a carrier oil. They're slower to come out. And some of these blends have almond oil as a base. So if you're allergic to nuts, be sure to test somewhere on your body first. But breathing in the 3 wise men, he put that as really, after using Valor, to use the 3 wise men, because it enhances that connection with the source. And then grounding, which enhances that connection with the earth. I consider grounding, when I say grounding, it's connection with the source and connection with the earth. Now, what other blends, maybe newer blends, or what other blends might you choose to for grounding, for better connection with the source? Think about that. You may already have them. I have in front of me Higher Unity. This is a beautiful blend, and I use it very sparingly. Many times, I only breathe it in because this is so special and it's not always readily available. Some of you may choose Transformation. That is a beautiful blend for making that decision to really make changes. And whether you're breathing them in or whether you're applying them wherever, he does make suggestions about specific places to apply things on the body. And when he himself did sessions, he didn't always apply them exactly because things change. So whatever you are guided to do, wherever you are guided to apply the oils, it's perfect for you. And you and your connection with your Creator are what it's all about. You are the ones who can bring that beautiful harmony and balance into every portion of your being, allowing you to totally deprogram those emotions, those traumatic experiences. Now, the emotions are that chemical reaction, but the feelings are what we attach. They are what we are attaching to that memory. It is called from our memory banks. So we're drawing things out of our memory banks all the time because that's how we make reference to where we are. We look back and see where we were and what we did. If the result was not what you would choose to have, then perhaps it's time to make a change. That's where this digging into our feelings and letting go of these traumatic associations, these reactions that we have, that can make all the difference. I'm quickly going to go into the other 4 oils and perhaps come back to them again with the entire set and more little thoughts and things, associations that you can make on using them. The next blend I have in front of me is the blend S-A-R-A, Sarah. Gary called it Sarah because Sarah actually is what we usually have embedded when we have any type of abuse, whether it is physical abuse or emotional abuse, mental, at any level of abuse. And this blend could be the most important blend in your arsenal. In fact, obviously I have it here. However, I have in my mind, I am going to order more of this blend because it is so special. Using this in conjunction with the 6 blends of the current Feelings collection could change your life. Gary did say that his suggestion is to apply it on the crown or the base of the skull, over the heart, or just over all of the energy centers. Now, remember, we're not talking about pouring it on. We're talking about 1, maybe 2, but 1 drop goes a long way. And breathing this blend in, perhaps the most important thing to remember, for us to remember, is that our mind, when we are holding these bottles, these blends, these single oils, every essential oil that Gary Young made has a purpose. And if our intent, they are all capable of holding intent. So if you are holding that bottle first in your hands, focusing and intending upon what you would choose for it to do, and remember, we always have a choice. Choose to intend what you would like these little droplets to do, to heal, to help your body become into harmony and balance. Then, as I said, I run through things and I run over time all the time. So The fourth blend that was left out of this one is hope. Once we open these wounds, these old wounds, it's important for us to have hope. Hope to let go of them, to allow ourselves. Hope for a better present and future. Hope for balance. Hope for harmony. As you are writing down the things that come to your mind, focus upon those when you are applying these oils. And then there's joy. Probably every member of Young Living has had joy blend in their lives, in their arsenal. You may or may not have it right now, but joy blend was one that he felt was so important for letting go of emotions, because traumatic emotions, traumatic feelings can change those attachments we have to those emotions can change and become joyful. Joyful that we can change. And then white Angelica. How many of you use white Angelica? It's one that I don't seem to often use. I've just recently begun using it more because this is a protective blend that Gary made to brush over our fields, to have it be like our extra set of clothes before going out into the world, when we're in our safe cocoon of our home, to protect us so that our energy doesn't seep out, and so that we don't take on things that are not directed at harmony for us. So, I feel like I've rushed through everything. I hope that I have covered enough to make it make sense, and we will continue talking more about how we can deal with our feelings, these memories that are locked into the very cells of our body, so that we can release them and reprogram positive experiences. So as you go through your week, deciding what exciting, fun, positive experiences you will have, jot them down. Let us know how you're doing. And I hope your week will be filled with beautiful, beautiful experiences. And I'll see you next Sunday.